Hello and welcome to NAT. My name is Paul Spanos, and today with us we have Mahshid, and Mahshid is an asylum seeker. Something that in Australia land we do talk a lot about asylum seekers. And welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me.
Mahshid, can you tell us a little bit about your story, where were you born and your initial journey in life?
Yes, I'm Iranian. I was born in Iran, Tehran, capital city. I was raised over there.
Must be a big city, Tehran, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is a big city, very crowded, very populated these days.
Okay.
Yeah. And too much pollution and too much traffic these days as well.
Okay.
But by the time I was child, life was not that easy in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So when I was before I think 12 years old, my parents decided to move to United States. We went there and it was such a big experience for me. I had lots of good friends over there. I started learning English. I finished my high school in the United States and started going to college. By that time, revolution have happened in my country, and my father, who didn't like to stay in the United States that much, decided we all have to come back to Iran.
Okay. In what status you went to United States? Was it as a part of, as a migrant you went to United States? As a migrant, okay.
But we didn't stay there. We didn't stay there.
Yeah.
We were applied for having green card and staying there as a migrant, but we didn't finish it because my father didn't
wanted to come back.
He was insisting too much. And because after the revolution, he said everything is okay. We can go back to our own country and continue the life over there. So we all came back to Iran, started a new experience in my country. After a while, I got married and started a new journey and continued my life as a translator, business translator, and also translating books and articles in Iran too.
Okay. And how early did you discover that you like doing this job? Because you told me that you like it.
Yeah, I always liked writing, even when I was a kid. I used to write for myself. So when I learned English, I found out that it's a good job to follow, because you have to make somehow these two languages coming along together. So when you have ability to write, you can be a translator too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you saw it from the practical point of view as well as you liked it as well. Yeah. Okay. And how was it as a job? Was it a good job?
It was a good job in Iran, very respectful job in Iran.
Okay. And were you successful in this?
Yes, because I liked it so much.
Okay. And what triggered in your mind in Tehran for you to change the course of life and to become an asylum seeker?
Well, as I told you, I had a good job, so I should continue living over there.
Yes.
But it was not only about job. It was for me and for many other people who are seeking asylum, I believe, is because they want to be respected as a human. It's not everything about money. It's not about everything about financial situation. Because in my situation, my job was a high-paid job.
Okay.
But you are not treated as a human being because somebody else wants to control your minds and control your behavior and everything. And I think this is a correct thing. As long as you are not harming anyone, whatever you have in your mind, you are free to have it.
Yes, yes. That means it is. What you're telling me was not really the financial condition.
No.
That
no, because when you're seeking asylum to some other country, you're fleeing your home, you're leaving your loved one, and you have to leave whatever you have worked so hard to achieve. You have to leave it over there. You cannot take all your money with you. You cannot take your property with you. So you come to some other country empty-handed with nothing. So you still have financial problem too, even more.
That's right. Then in this case, you discover in you that freedom was far more important than financial comforts in life, isn't it?
Above freedom, being treated as a human, being free to express yourself and your mind, because when you're not harming anybody, what is bad about what you have in mind? What is bad about whatever you believe? Everybody is free to have any kind of belief they have, as long as they're not harming anybody else.
And what was the event that made you feel back in Iran that your freedom was at stake and it was threatened?
Well, in my case, because I used to write and I used to translate, so initially it came back to writing.
Yes.
Whatever I wrote, 3 times it happened to me. The first time I said, okay, I get along with it. The second time, similar to that. And the third time it was translating 700 pages, which some other writer had wrote it, and just translated whatever she wrote.
Yes.
So, and they told me from 700 pages, I can only publish 300 pages, which is impossible.
You can only translate with 300 pages and because of political reasons.
Yeah, political. What happened to that 400 pages? What should I do with it?
And it was not even your work.
It was not even my work. It was not even my idea. I just translate whatever writer have done.
And you've been asked to translate the book.
And I've been asked by government to translate the book, and which didn't have anything with political issue. It was something about animation.
Yes. Yes. Then in this case, you saw that your freedom was violated.
Yes.
Okay, and that triggered you to seek freedom.
Seek freedom, fleeing from my country, leaving my loved one behind and my property behind, to be treated as a human to be able to express himself, not just being controlled by somebody else, even in my mind.
Being in the United States, what triggered Australia into your mind?
I didn't have any idea I'm going to end up in Australia.
Oh, you didn't even know you're going to end up in Australia?
I didn't even know. By the time I started the journey coming to Australia, I knew I'm going. But before, I didn't have any idea I'm going to end up in Australia. For example, 5 years ago, if somebody would tell me, you are going to live in Australia, I would laugh at them.
That is very interesting. Please stay with us. We're going to have a short break and we'll be back with Mahshid's story shortly. Welcome back to NAT. Today the topic is about asylum seekers, and with us we have Mahshid, and we continue the story. Okay. Now you are back from the United States to Iran. You are a translator, and you made a decision to come to Australia.
Yes.
Tell us about that journey. How did it started and you end up in Australia?
Well, as soon as I made my decision, I informed my husband, which didn't believe me.
Okay.
I didn't get any contact with any person when I was in Iran because it was too dangerous. Telephone, even private telephones, are under control. So I came to Malaysia.
How did you go to Malaysia?
By airplane. Yeah.
By airplane. Okay.
By airplane. I came to Malaysia. I stayed there for 3 days, and after 3 days, I went to Indonesia.
And that is with Iranian passport?
Yeah, with Iranian passport.
Not a problem.
Iranian passport, because I had many business trips, so it was not hard for me.
Okay.
It was not hard for me. So in Malaysia, I got in touch with people smugglers, and there were a few of them. Some of
in
my
Malaysia
friends,
or in Indonesia?
In Indonesia. In Indonesia. Some of my friends gave them number of few people smugglers in Indonesia, and I got in touch, and among them I chose one of them. I did the journey through him, and it was some journey.
Okay.
Very, very, very difficult journey.
Okay, from the time that you have left Iran till the time you arrived in Australia, how long was that? It
was more than 1 month.
Was more than one month.
Yeah.
Okay, and from and how long have you stayed in Malaysia?
In Malaysia, 3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
And in Indonesia?
A little bit more than 3 weeks.
Okay, that means it took you 3 weeks process.
3 weeks.
Of how did you feel in Indonesia talking and dealing with people smugglers?
It was really hard for me. I was scared of this kind of people.
Okay.
When it comes to the name of a smuggler, you're always scared, especially when you have an ordinary life.
That's right.
You don't have this kind of, if you say exciting, to me it's not exciting.
Okay.
If you have ordinary life, it's very hard to get in touch with someone which is well known as a smuggler. It was very hard for me. Yeah.
Did you trust them?
I had to.
You had to?
I had to.
By force, but
By force.
Did you really trust them inside?
No.
That means you trust the person and at the same time you sustain fear in
Yeah, I didn't have any other choice.
Okay.
I had to trust the person that I didn't trust at all.
Okay. And how many of you were in the boat?
81 people.
81
people in one fishing boat.
And were they able to hide 81 people?
No. Very, very small places spaces to sit. Even to sit.
Okay, that means on the boat, okay?
On the boat.
All right, fine. But in Indonesia, how they can sustain you for 3 weeks without being obvious that you're going...
They sent us from capital city Jakarta to some village.
Okay.
Yeah, we were distributed around this village. I was with 2 other family in this villa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That means that people sort of collaborators, and they know that you are an asylum seeker, and so
somehow you can say somehow you can say.
Yeah. Okay. How were the people in Indonesia? How they treat you there?
They were very nice people.
They're very nice people. Okay. And then you paid the money and you went on the boat.
No, the first day I met the people smuggler, I paid the money the first day.
Day one. Okay.
And all that 3 weeks, I was in fear that if he gets the money and goes away, I couldn't do anything.
That's right.
I couldn't do anything.
Yes, that's correct.
I only had a phone number of him, which was mobile phone number, nothing else.
Okay. And then, have they trusted you with the telephone number in your hand?
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
I think they did.
Yeah, they didn't have any other option, isn't it? Because they had your money anyway.
Yes.
They did have your money. Now, going to the boat, tell me how it was, the conditions in the boat.
The condition of the boat was terrible. And even the way we made the journey was terrible, because the night I was going to boat with other 80 people, we passed through a jungle in the midnight and got in the boat. It was horrible. We were in the boat for 9 days. 9 days through the whole ocean, and you just see the people and the ocean and the people and the ocean. Every night I was waiting for the morning, and the morning I was waiting for the night.
What did you come through your mind? What was through your mind?
Every second I was thinking, am I going to die now?
Okay.
Is this the time I'm going to die now? Am I going to die now?
Okay. Did you have any regrets?
No.
No?
No.
That means the freedom, sense of freedom was stronger.
I didn't have any regret. Well, if I had to come back to Indonesia and make the trip several times, I would do it. It was really hard, but I made up my mind I should do it.
You really determined. And what happened? How did you feel when Australia boat, the Navy came and approached you?
I saw them as an angels.
As an angels?
As an angels. I think there were about 6 or 7 soldiers who came to the boat in the final moments, who came to the boat and took us to the Navy. I saw them as angels.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And how long was the trip to Darwin?
With Navy? With
yes,
Navy?
with
2
Navy.
days.
2 days.
2 days. But those 2 days was most relaxing time I had all over my life, because I was sure that I'm not going to die. After 9 days in the ocean, I was sure I'm not going to die.
What was the condition on the ship? Was it so luxury condition that you felt so comfortable?
No, not the luxury condition at all. But I loved it.
You loved it.
As soon as I arrived to the Navy, we were sitting on the ground. Somehow they didn't have permission to take us in the Navy. They didn't have permission to take us. So we had to sit on the front part of the Navy.
Yes.
We gave us some blankets, and that was it. Yes. Sometimes it was the blanket was wet.
Yes.
But I didn't complain at all. I was very happy with that situation.
That means the sense of security was much
I felt
stronger.
Security. As soon as I arrived to the Navy, I felt asleep.
Okay. We're going to go back to the third segment and talking about in Australia.
Okay.
What happened. We're going to continue after the break to this interesting story. Welcome back to NAT. We continue with Mahshid, an asylum seeker, and from Iran to Malaysia, Indonesia, through the boat to Darwin.
Darwin.
You arrived in Darwin.
Yes.
What did you do there?
As soon as I arrived in Darwin, we went and take a shower, and I was so happy. First, I'm alive. Then I felt very secure.
Okay.
I went and fell asleep again, and for 45 days I was in detention center. These 45 days, I guess, was the busiest days of my life because, because I think more than 200 people from Iran, they were there.
Okay.
And not many of them could speak English.
Okay.
There were times that by the time I wanted to sleep, I had to go to some other room to sleep because even in midnight, some people came after me and asked me, "We want to go to medical, can you come with us?" But I was very happy to do it. I was very happy to do it. First, I could help them. Second, it kept me busy from not thinking about what I have passed. And third, give me some experience. And above all, I was happy to helping people from my community as well.
Okay. Can I ask you something? When you approach either the Navy ship, Australian Navy and or Darwin, what can you point, what is the thing that made you feel secure?
Because I was not going to die. I was so scared. 9 days.
Was the physical conditions from the sea? Okay.
It was very, as I told you, it was it was very a small fishing boat. We were 81 people.
Yes.
No security at all.
Yes, that's right.
It was just fishing boat in the ocean.
45 days in Darwin, and then?
45. And then after Darwin, when they told us we are going to be released to the community, I went to Sydney for 1 month because by that time I planned to stay in Sydney.
You sustained the Iranian passport?
Yes, I still have my Iranian passport. Yeah, I still have it. I went to Sydney. I was planning to live in Sydney. Then I found that Sydney, in my point of view, living in Sydney is very hard for asylum seekers.
Okay.
So I had some friends in Melbourne. They recommended me to come and live in Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did come to Melbourne.
I came to Melbourne.
And then you are in Melbourne for the last
I think
10 months?
Okay, around 10 months, yeah.
Okay, what are you doing now?
Thank God. God opened the way for me. I'm helping my community. I'm doing volunteering. I studied aged care, which I'm doing my placement now. I do collect furniture for asylum seekers. I do plan events for them. And whatever I can do to help them, I do.
You said, thank God. That means you are a Christian.
Yes, I am.
What triggered you to Christianity?
It refers to many years ago. By that time, I was born Muslim. And I was 6 years old. I was watching a movie.
Yes.
In this movie, I remember exactly because I was 6 years old, because it was the time before I go to school. Somebody was telling the other person, Jesus has said, if someone hit your face, you should show him the other part of your face. This sentence changed my whole life.
Wow.
All my life, I loved Jesus because of that sentence, and I had his love. Everything about him was somebody telling. I was following them. By the time I was Muslim too, and you can say I was a prejudiced Muslim too. I had Jesus' picture all over my house, and when a guest comes to my house, they used to ask me, have you changed your religion? I said, no. They said, you have Jesus' picture all over your house. I said, because I love him. Then,
it means a sense of forgiveness came straight away
touched me a lot.
as really highlighted on, and really that makes you feel very, very comfortable. And you became a Christian.
Yes.
And now within the community here, what do you see from, if you see an asylum seeker, what do you see as their primary need?
I think the main point they need is protection.
Protection, okay.
Protection in every way. When you go to some other country that you don't have any idea about their culture, their language, their situation, nothing. Even walking in the streets could be fearful to you because you don't know where to go. You don't know. You even do not have the ability to ask someone a direction.
Okay.
So protection in every which way, I think, is their priority for helping them.
That means they feel insecurities and fears.
Make them feel secure.
Yeah, that means we need to. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That means from the host country,
Yes.
like Australia, it's making
Making feel they are accepted.
they're accepted. That's fine. That means the security and the fears that they've got
Yes.
is because they are in a foreign land.
It takes a long time. What they have in mind from their background will be vanished, and they feel secure.
Okay. That comes progressively, though.
Progressively.
Isn't it?
Yes.
How easy is for asylum seekers to find a job in here or to feel a little bit more comfortable?
Well, it depends on their level of visa. In some level of visa, which is mine too, we are not allowed to work at all.
Okay. All right.
For those who have permission to work, I'm not sure. I don't think they are finding it easy.
Yeah, it is not easy.
Especially for those who cannot speak English.
Okay. Then what mechanisms you found in the society here in Australia that can help you to survive?
There are many organizations that help them. There are many
Okay.
organizations that are very helpful.
Through your volunteer work, have you met organizations? Can you name some?
Yes, there are some of them. Yeah, I'm working for an intercultural center, which helps them a lot with learning English, which is the first priority for making communication. And if they are able to make communication, they can easily remove the other problems step by step.
Okay.
Yeah.
That means that's the best advice we can start off with.
Start learning, start communicating with the people.
That's it. And then from that, at least they can understand what
you
other
can go
people
through
say.
the other problems step by step. When you learn, speak some other people's language, when you're living in their country, you can ask questions. Okay, where can I go for applying for a job? Where can I go for doing this? Where can I go for doing that?
Mahshid, I am afraid we ran out of time, and I know your story more, and we had so much time to say so few things only. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And give us the glimpse of your journey. And to the NAT viewers, thank you for being with us. We will be back in next week at the same time.